I mean, we might as well go on to the other race. What was it called? The Surf
Surf Classic, something
Torquay?
like that.
Something.
Yeah, something like
I
that. I mean,
personally, I've never heard of it.
no, I'm not sure if it's new for this year or not, but I guess it's another race which warrants the riders going down to the Southern Hemisphere to kind of,
Which is fair enough.
yeah, it gives them another race. I mean, it's not very long. It is really like I won't call it a crit, it's more like a circuit race, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, it's just ended in a sprint. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, Binny won, which is the big news. That Binny had quite It was a quiet year last year for Binny from everyone's sort of expectations. No, well, so tell me where he did well. Apart from that one sprint where he got chopped up by Philipsen.
He beat Wavadar. He won a race in Altea,
Loads of people
and
beat Wout.
and it was his first Tour de France. Come on, give him some slack. How much Vanderpool pushed him out of the way. So
It's true, but in his first year he got a win. So right, the bar's set high. Listen, I got to create controversy because then all the Eritrean fans go and watch this video and start getting in the comments. It's easy.
and come from you, as we've understood, they're everywhere. They're in Australia.
Yeah.
They're in Switzerland. They're in.
Well,
They
yeah.
could be
I
in
mean,
Yorkshire, Patrick. You never know.
it could be, but I feel like my people will protect me.
Your people.
My people.
Beanie hype once again, and in the team presentation, he was actually saying like he feels a lot stronger, more mature. Like it was better for him to train down in Australia because better weather. Obviously, Eritrea, Northern Europe isn't, or like Europe just in the winter isn't ideal for someone who's lived in Eritrea all their life. So yeah, and I think it was probably quite a big shock for him as well. He's kind of like he's only what 23, so it's like he shoved this massive spotlight onto him. So maybe one more year and he's a bit more certain of what he's gonna do this year. Interesting program he has lined up as well.
Yeah, but I also think that maybe in hindsight there was too much pressure placed on Biniam Girmay last year after what was a fantastic 2022 with that big breakthrough at Wevelgem and winning that stage of the Giro. Then last year just not really living up to the expectation that we all had of him. But I think, yeah, for a rider who's just 23 years of age, there is plenty of space to grow for him. And the program this year looks very interesting. I think maybe more of a focus on the classics instead of the stage races would actually be a good approach for him. Maybe not in terms of his training, but definitely in terms of his results. And for us as viewers, selfishly, at the moment we've got Omloop Nieuwsblad, Kuurne Brussel Kuurne. Kuurne is a race I think he has a really good shot at doing well at. Followed by Tirreno, Sanremo, Idri Harrebeke, Gent-Wevelgem, Ronde van Vlaanderen, Roubaix, and then the Tour de France being the Grand Tour spectacle. So yeah, it's definitely shaping up to be quite a formative year. Last year, I think, definitely posed a bit of a sort of difficult season, but that's common. The sophomore slump they call it in music, where you have to follow up your first album with something else. If you think of it in that way, he couldn't quite follow up that debut album in 2022, but maybe this is the time he's had to mature as an artist, as a cyclist, and experiment with his sound, his writing style, and now he can finally sort of get back to the lofty heights that he was at before. He showed really good form in Australia. He looks just as quick as he was beforehand. If anything, that speed that he has really is his own advantage. So yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. Hopefully, they drill the lead outs a little bit better. That's where he kind of fell apart in the Tour de France in particular, making him work closely with those lead out guys and for him to stick out at Intermarché just this week, head of a Tayson to quite a high level sprint. So that instantly kind of threatens his place in the pecking order within Intermarché.
Yeah, interesting interview with Gerber Tyson that I finally got around to today because it'll be Monday when this is out. But yeah, I feel like I'm in you now, Ewan, because like just batting for one rider. He did crash on his birthday, like in Tour de Flanders. He had to come back from that, and then yeah, Tour de France got a bit bullied by Alpecin, and as we've heard so much, it's so different to be at the Tour de France. But is he going to be able to win a stage at the Tour or the Classics or whatever? There is a Mathieu van der Poel in the way. There is a Wout van Aert in the way. There is Jasper Philipsen in the way at the Tour de France as well. So, I mean,
I was going to say, I mean, Wout and Matthew aren't a problem at all because
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but in terms of the Classics, because their goal is a top five. That's what The team manager said for the classics, yeah, top 5.
Just everywhere, or just at once at Flanders, or
I think they won, and then kind of if more come,
one.
like at least one.
I mean, there's no reason why he can't do well at like the semi-classics. I just think that Flanders is just going to be a really, really big step, because we all like Ewan said, we all remember that Ghent Wevelgem. It's just incredible. It's just a day full of elation, but Ghent Wevelgem doesn't immediately translate into Tour of Flanders. So I'm not really saying that Flanders or even like Roubaix. To be honest, I just for monuments, maybe San Remo. To be fair,
I think Amstel Gold could be a good one, if I'm honest.
That's true, but he's not provisionally down to do it.
Oh, they mentioned that he is going to do Amstel Gold.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
That's true. Especially when you consider that all the big guns are just going for Liège, because they're all just, I don't know, they don't want to do one-day races, which is lame, boring. Maybe he does have a good shot at Amstel. I think he's probably got a better shot at Amstel just because he is that attritional, sprinter type. If he can hang on, and it's a very sort of Pidcock, Wout van Aert and Schachmann finished, and yeah, Binny could certainly be up there.
I'm going to say Amstel's too hard for him.
I mean,
Really?
It could be. He's going to have to be climbing better than he was, because he got spat at Cadel Evans.
Mm-hmm.
He got finished 22nd, and if you're getting spat on Cadel Evans by guys like Piffy, no way. But there's a long time. Just because you win Cadel Evans doesn't mean you're going to be winning Amstel.
Yeah, and then answering your question about Tour de France stage, there are a couple of stages this year that could suit him. That Stadio to Bologna that comes on stage 2, and he's back in Italy, the country where he took his first Grand Tour victory back at the Giro a couple of years back in Iași. Not Iași, that's in Romania. Iesi. Then I think he's got a decent chance. So many stages I'm highlighting, it's also a stage that could suit Jasper Philipsen, who does climb well. Maz Payson, we know, is one of the most powerful sprinters out there. For Lidl Trek, we assume he's coming to the Tour de France as well, sharing that team with Theo Gegenhardt. And to Marche, do they need to go all out for Biniam Girmay again? Should they bring a bit of a sort of a leader, a puncher kind of squad, so they can have a chance of winning a breakaway stage and finally get that Tour de France stage win that they so desperately want? It's a tough balancing act for Marche. Historically, they've done better, I think, when they play the underdog instead of being sort of the heavyweight.
They're bringing Louis Meintjes. So
17th in GC?
Well, top 10 is the target. We've been talking about how blocking out that top 10 without UAE Visma riders. I mean, at this stage, there's going to be 7 riders fighting for 10th place.
And also, don't forget, you've also got Sasha Vlasov, Jai Hindley, all those guys from Bora as well. It's not just Visma, Lisa Bike and UAE. Yeah, exactly.
There's so many non-Galacticos riders, which it's so easy to forget that these guys who usually fill out the top 10, you're like, oh, these guys are really good. It's so easy just to forget about them, but they deserve their credit as well. They're not just pack fill. These guys are serious GC contenders. It's just that they're just not quite Pogačar and Jonas. It's just the cruel way that things are.
Side note, this is probably the most competitive Tour de France we've had since 2020.
Yeah, legit. Yeah, absolutely. I'd say it's got probably one of the most stacked GC contender fields since, I don't even know when, the Froome Contador era. Legit. I think
that one.
Yeah.
Froome, Nibali, Contador, Quintana, Valverde, all the...
Honestly, we haven't seen this kind of level in almost a decade. So it's going to be one hell of a fight. But anyway, Binny.
Yeah.
Can he win a stage? I think, honestly, just like you say, Pedersen and Philipsen, they're kind of like the kryptonite. But all it takes is just one thing to go wrong for them and one thing to go right for Binny. It can really be just a matter of one corner taken differently can make the difference. Being positioned in one wheel rather than another could be the difference. So there's no reason I don't think that Binny can't win a stage at all.